Billy Beige here. So this morning, before I had to go to work for 11 hours, Hiya Toys announced and put up for pre-order the new Kong that we saw at SDCC, and I'm super excited for it, and I hope everybody else is excited for it. So the Exquisite Basic series, Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire Kong is up at least on Hiya's website, it's $51. I believe on Big Bad Toy Store, it's only $50, but you're going to wait a long time for that figure from Big Bad Toy Store. Uh, Taking a look at Kong himself, it's it's fantastic. It looks like the movie. He has good proportions. He has where he's a big beefy linebacker of a Kong. I love it. I love the added articulation that they've added to him from just the evolution of the Kongs they put out, because they had the Godzilla versus Kong, and he had where at the time he was fantastic. He was something new from Haya. We had just got like the Godzilla and the fixed neck on the Godzilla, so it was like, you know, Highest batting it's 50-50 at that point, I guess, since it was like one Godzilla that kind of had a messed up neck, then another Godzilla that had a better neck. But I digress. But that Kong was really cool. It was really sturdy. It was really creaky too. I didn't feel like I was going to break it, but it felt like if I hummed it at somebody and it hit them in the head, they were going down. The next Kong that we got for Kong Skull Island, ironically, had where it was an improvement in that design of Kong, even though it's supposed to be a smaller, even though it was really quite smaller, younger Kong, it had bounds more articulation with like a butterfly in the shoulder. The waist had where it just kind of moved a little bit better, because that first Kong from GVK, you had to like pop them apart and put a little paper, and also like the like second release of it had some paper stuffed in that socket in his torso to kind of like add some spacing to kind of give him more like movement in that chest articulation there. But with the Kong Skull Island one, they added those I would call them rail drop down hips, which was really cool. It seemed, I don't want to seem like it seemed like a waste on that figure, but it had where it was like, it definitely seemed like this was the experiment for the next figure. This was the test for Godzilla X Kong, and then it also had where like its hands and feet and head swap. Head portraits had where they were a softer plastic that was easier to swap out, because on that first Kong you had to heat them up and swap them around because they were just a hard plastic. They look great. They're fantastic. It was sturdy, but they were hard as hell to swap out on the first Godzilla versus Kong. The Kong Skull Island was right where it needed to be. It was easy to do. You didn't have to heat it up. I thought that was wonderful. I imagine on this one, it's gotta have softer hands to be able to do that. It's gotta have those like drop down hips, because they show it sitting down. They show the Kong in a seated position, and also in that like on all fours gorilla stance. And also, like that awesome boxing stance that I love that. I love that look where he's just got the grit to his teeth with one kind of lip higher than the other, just like ready to just like knock out another well, Kong. It's fantastic. They also added more articulation to the torso, so it has that upper torso ball joint there, and like a lower torso ball joint. So you have those 2 points in there. So I imagine he's going to have where he's going to be able to really ab crunch a lot better too. And also, I saw at SDC, they had where they added like a layer to his legs there, so it doesn't have where it's at the top of the hip for the thigh rotation. It has where it's like, it looks like it's gonna be like a mid thigh there, and as it it looks good for how they layered it. I'm fine with that. I just hope it has where it's easy to move a little bit. If it has where it's a little stove up when you get it, you should be able to heat up and move it around. But I do prefer this to the top of the hip rotation there, because if it had at the top of the hip, I feel like with that ball joint there and just how that goes on a lot of figures, top of the hip rotation, it puts a lot of stress on that ball that it may not necessarily need. And I like this. It's kind of like almost future proofing. So hey, if something's gonna happen, it ain't gonna happen here. This ain't gonna stress out your figure. It's the torsion, the twisting is moved around there, so it's not gonna affect that. And I like that. Also, let's see here. It's got the butterflies on there. What else do we got going on this Kong? Besides, he looks amazing. Like he's got such broad shoulders. It's so cool. That's what the Kong Skull Island one. Even though it was trying to follow the model, it wasn't quite perfect for the model for the movie. But hey, it had narrow shoulders, and that really kind of hindered the butterflies they put in there some. But I with this one, with how wide these shoulders are, you should be able to get a lot more movement out of those shoulders, and that's gonna be cool. He comes with the Godzilla spine axe there, or the Godzilla sword spine axe. Um, that's awesome. Two head portraits, the stoic calm Kong, the roaring Kong, and again that like cocked to the side, teeth gritting, fangs bared Kong that I'm really into. I'm really digging that. He comes with his fists. He comes with looks like walking knuckles, or no wait, no, he's got fists. He's got weapon holding hands. He's got walking knuckles, and then he has open hands. And on the right hand, it has that like injury from the frostbite and stuff from Shimu there, and they even have a picture of him holding his hand as it's hurt, and I'm just like, oh, poor poor Kong, poor baby. But yeah, this is fantastic. I can't wait for this figure. Its release date is estimated at, let's see here, quarter one 2025. So that's coming around fast. So this figure's been, obviously, since we saw it at San Diego Comic Con, it's been worked on for a while here, and it's further along in that production. Because like right now, we're in August, so within the first 3 months of January is when this thing should be shipping. There is the issue of coming up on Chinese New Year in that first quarter there, so there's a chance that like it could get delayed if you have where you're ordering from Big Bad Toy Store. It might have that month of where like, hey, people who ordered from sites like Caucus Toys, oh god, I can't remember if I think Gundam doesn't carry Hiya anymore, but any kind of like overseas store, those will definitely get these out first, obviously, but it's also kind of making sure that you don't get caught in that Chinese New Year doldrums right there of that month where things just get delayed. It kind of saves you from that. It's future proofing, guys. Think ahead. Think ahead. I know I'm going to. I'm gonna order mine from Caucus Toys. Uh, I I really couldn't think of anything else this figure needs except the Beast Glove. It doesn't have the Beast Glove. I know s.h.monsterarts figure didn't have the Beast Glove when it first came out, when they were like, oh, here's this first run of figures. And the second run didn't have it. And now you have to buy Scar King to get that extra arm that has the Beast Glove on it. I I do not think Hiya is going to do it. It's not even like a thought in my mind that Hiya is going to have where they release some other figure that will include the Beast Glove for this Kong. If they, well, they're going to do a Beast Glove Kong. When they do that, it's going to be a separate figure. It's not going to be a pack in item and things like that. I hope when they do that figure, there's enough different to make it worth it. Maybe it'll have where, since Suko is so small, if they do a Suko, maybe that Beast Glove Kong that could come in the future, who knows when, will come with a Suko and come with like, the Kong with a little like the metal tooth, and just something neat extra there. But I'm definitely thinking it'll have where it just has the one arm with the beast glove on it and won't have where you swap them out. If they do have where it does come with an extra arm to swap out there, eh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be kind of upset if they do, because like this figure's fantastic. I want to play with this figure right now. But if there's potential for a better version to come out in the future that's very similar to this with that added alternate with an added alternate arm and not just where it just has the beast glove arm, I'll feel kind of a little I'll feel a little gypped, a little bit sore about it, but it's better than just getting an arm with another figure that you may or may not want, or have to buy another figure that you may or may not want to get it. You know, there's if it has where it comes out, you could just like flip this one if it has where it's drastically not drastically different, but eh on that. Now, they have where they put out the size for him. He is 16 centimeters tall there. He's at that 6-inch scale perfectly. So now we have a good size comparison between Kong, Shimu, and uh, Godzilla there. It's, I feel like it's right. Kong is a little bit shorter than Godzilla. Shimu has where she is technically taller than Kong overall with like her back and spines and things like that, but he should still be able to do the fun iconic scene at the end of the movie where he's like, you know, rubbing under her neck and on her head there like a Shetland pony maybe, or a regular sized horse to him. I don't know. It's a size issue there, but like it has where it looks right. It looks correct to me. I originally, for a minute, there was going to get Scar King from S.H. Arts and pick up their Kong because their Kong's not too much if you get right. But now that I've seen this Kong right here, there's no way I'm buying the s.h.monsterarts one. Not to dog on them, but like this is what I want in a Kong. It has not the same articulation as the s.h.monsterarts one, obviously, but it has very similar points of articulation. Maybe not ball joints. There's definitely hinges in this guy, and I kind of prefer those with it. It's a little bit more solid, won't pop apart as much, but it's gonna move. It shows him in the pictures just moving like a maniac, and I love it. But tell me what you think down below in the comments. Do you think this Kong is well? I have this feeling that you guys are gonna be like, "This Kong is fantastic. I'd much rather have him than the s.h.monsterarts." Blah blah blah. I have this feeling. I have this feeling. But which would you prefer? Do you already have the s.h.monsterarts? Will you be getting this one as well, or are you just gonna stick with your Monster Arts one and pass on this one? uh, Let me know. How do you feel about it not coming with the Beast Glove? I want to know that. What do y'all feel about him not coming with the Beast Glove? But this has been Billy Beige, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, guys.